Another month has gone, means another video to make regarding what I watched this month. I've actually popped off more this month than the last, even with all the Nolan films from July, which I'm pretty happy about because escapism is good. So let's not waste any more time with it and get to what I've watched in August. Starting on the 1st, I finally got to watch the latest Wes Anderson film, Asteroid City, on YouTube, which was great, but of all the Anderson films I've watched, was probably the weakest. I wish some plot points were hit on a bit more, even though I do know the intentions behind the choices made here. I just wish there was more time to develop some of these characters. But otherwise, it was really well paced, had some great production design, Anderson's signature camera work is stunning, and I really loved how the film concluded. 8 out of 10. On the 3rd, I watched the first slam dunk, literally at the last minute. That's right, I impulse bought my ticket for the very last screening of this film at my local theater.
Alright, wake up, zombies! Time to activate! Come on! Phones! I wanna see some fucking phones!
And I think it might have been the only good impulse buy I've ever made. I've never watched the original Slam Dunk show, but I've heard Chris Stuckman gave the movie an A+, and that he's never seen the show either. And so I knew I had to see it as soon as possible, and holy shit, it may just be my favorite sports movie of all time. Like, you legit don't need any knowledge of the show to enjoy this film, which is always nice. The animation may have taken some time for me to get used to, but it blended together 3D and 2D animation beautifully, the characters were so much fun and had so much personality behind them, and the stories for almost all of them were engaging, even though some teammates felt a bit left out for development, which is really my only issue with this film. But otherwise, everything else built this film up to be one of my favorites of the whole year so far, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. 9 out of 10. And continuing my wee bark for the month, on the 5th, I finally finished Cowboy Bebop, including the movie before the last 4 episodes. And altogether, this does live up to its hype. It's now one of my top 5 favorite anime series of all time, with the movie also just being excellent. The animation is so detailed and well utilized to make this world one of the most lived in any show I've watched. The episodic format gave the storytelling a lot more nuance, as well as for the characters. Spike has now become one of my favorite protagonists ever, but the whole crew is so lovable and fun to watch. Overall, it's Cowboy Bebop. What else can be said? The movie gets a 9 out of 10, and the show gets a 10. The next day, I binged all of Heartstopper Season 1 in preparation for the 2nd season, and man, it was just so damn cute. I really liked the characters, and their struggles were understandable. The look of the show made the proceedings so much more iconic than it would have been without them. The colors pop so hard and make the show more vibrant. I don't know, it's just cute. 8 out of 10. After that, I took a bit of a break for the next week until the 13th, where I finally watched every old person's favorite movie, Casablanca. And damn, I think they were right. This is a really engaging and inviting movie with its characters and romance. Nothing really about this film is dated. It never has a dull moment, the characters are charming, the dialogue's so raw, and the filmmaking is amazing. I guess I would have liked a scene or two more in Rick's flashback sequence to really make me feel the betrayal to the degree the movie wants me to feel, but otherwise, if you told me that this was your favorite movie, I'd totally get it. 9 out of 10. Anyways, back to the gay stuff. Heartstopper Season 2 I thought was just as good as the first season. While I think the pacing was more fast moving in the first, I think all the characters had more to do this season and all of them had me so emotionally invested. Like, no joke, I was so tense during the finale because of a certain character's absence. That's how much I've grown to care about everyone here. I think the writing was more tight, even though I think it took a bit more time for me to get engaged, but when I did, I was so in. 8 out of 10. On the 19th, I rewatched High School Musical. I just wanted to, okay? And you know what? It's actually good. This movie just gives me the good feels, and the first half is honestly great with some solid direction and banging song and dance numbers. Then I started to lose interest about halfway through, when the whole misunderstanding plot point hit, which just sucked ass. Please let this trope die in a fire. But the story and characters were fun, it's fast moving, many songs were bangers, and Sharpay is my icon. Also, Coach Bolton is the funniest man in this movie, I swear to God.
Where's my team, Darvis? What the heck are those two doing in a tree?
7 out of 10. On the 23rd, I rewatched Mulan with some friends who've never seen it before. Believe you me, I was shocked too. And while it's not quite the Disney masterpiece I remembered, it's still a highly entertaining and thematically rich movie with one of my favorite arcs in any Disney movie. I love Mulan's journey and the people she meets along the way. Songs were banging, characters were slaying, Shang was kinda gaying. It's an 8 out of 10 for me. On the 23rd, I rewatched Hairspray for some goddamn reason. Yeah, I was kind of on a musical high that week, wow. And it was fine. It's another movie that has a strong beginning but starts to lose me as the film goes on. The message became really muddled and I started to realize that many of the characters were extremely one note. It's also a very flat looking movie with the cinematography and direction, but at least the song numbers were fun and the songs themselves were excellent. So it's a frustrating movie, but at least it's one of the only movies I'll ever say John Travolta was a saving grace. 6 out of 10. 2 days later, I continued my High School Musical journey with High School Musical 2.
Wait for my signal.
This one wasn't as high as the first one for me.
Take him out.
I just thought the pacing was not as strong and the direction was more stiff during the musical numbers. But many songs rock so hard, like What Time Is It, Work This Out, and my favorite, I Don't Dance. Best song in the trilogy, yeah, I said it. I like that Sharpay and Ryan had more to do, and Ryan's story was probably my favorite to follow. And I'm positive that Vanessa Hudgens is just the prettiest human being on earth. So, 6 out of 10. And then lastly, on the next day, I rewatched Arcane for like the 7th fucking time, this time with my dad, and yep, it's still one of my top 2 favorite shows of all time. Still the greatest looking anime series ever, still gives me more emotional damage in just 7 hours than my depression has my entire life, still a 10 out of 10. Anyways, what can I say except bye.